In the beginning of the story, we see that late at night, a person named Aziz is wandering outside the palace. As he strolls, a soldier notices him and asks, "Mr. Aziz, since when have you been here?" Aziz replies that he couldn't sleep, so he was taking a walk, and reassures the soldier that he'll be back soon. The soldier comments on the pleasant weather and the high morning star. Aziz agrees, saying he enjoys walking during such times. Aziz then talks about a legend related to Venus, mentioning the reincarnation of the goddess Ishtar and the prophecy of saving the one who will become the greatest sultan. The soldier expresses doubt about the story, but Aziz smiles and acknowledges that it's considered a fairy tale, yet he waits for the reincarnation of the goddess Ishtar, who is believed to have a beautiful soul. At that moment, a girl with white hair and different-colored eyes enters the palace. She gazes at herself in a mirror, overwhelmed with disbelief, wondering if she is really in this world. She questions if it might be a dream but feels pain, making her doubt that theory. Suddenly, a boy approaches her, acknowledging her courage to enter his room alone, and draws his sword, asking, "Who are you?" This terrifies the girl, and she wonders when he woke up. This young boy is Solomon, the second prince of the kingdom of Ashel and the governor of the capital. He questions her about giving him sleeping pills and demands to know why she's not speaking, clearly irritated. The frightened girl still doesn't say anything, her mind racing. She tries to explain that the situation in which he woke up is completely unexpected. She then glances at his abs, momentarily distracted, and thinks that it's a bit strange to worry about this in such a dangerous situation, but couldn't he just fasten the front flaps a little? Solomon presses on, asking who brought her here and suggesting it might be the annoying noble council elders. But the girl still doesn't respond, her mind racing. She thinks to herself that he must be wrong, and she doesn't even know what situation she's in right now. In his anger, Solomon warns her that pretending not to know won't save her. Entering the royal dormitory without permission is a serious crime, one he wouldn't hesitate to punish with a severe consequence. The terrified girl continues to think, fearing for her life. She believes it's unfair to die so suddenly at such a young age, and she doesn't want to die in vain in her reborn life. Suddenly, Solomon notices a pendant around her neck and exclaims that it's a sign that she belongs to the Sultan. He speculates that this might be a joke from his mother rather than the nobles. He questions if she passed by here in the middle of the night. Blushing and still not saying a word, the girl wonders what he means by this and how it's possible. She firmly shakes her head, thinking absolutely not. Frustrated, Solomon realizes she has no intention of speaking and threatens to drag her to the torture room since she refuses to talk. Upon hearing about the torture room, the girl becomes extremely anxious, thinking she must have heard wrong. She envisions being put in an electric chair, just like in the movies, and realizes that if she doesn't speak up, she might die. Then the girl, overwhelmed by fear, lets out a loud meow like a cat. She can't believe she made such a sound and feels deeply embarrassed. She covers her mouth with her hands in embarrassment. Hearing the unexpected meow, Solomon is also taken aback. The girl remembers the events from a few days ago when she was reborn as a cat, and everyone was chasing her. She had been running away from them, realizing the absurdity of the situation. No matter what she said, they wouldn't believe her. She was just an ordinary person who had lived an uneventful life. Now, in a world she didn't even recognize, she had turned into a cat. As she runs towards a wall, it feels almost impossible to escape. The people chasing her, frustrated, comment on her speed but declare that the game of catching her is about to end. The girl, now a cat, feels angry and indignant, thinking it's absurd for 3 grown people to chase after a small cat. She demands to be fed and calls them cowardly. As the people chase the cat, one of them starts feeling pity for the small and cute feline. He requests that they let it go. However, the rest of the pursuers are furious, insisting that it doesn't make sense and reminding the compassionate man that the superiors have ordered the cat to present the truth to the governor. They also mention that cats with white fur and different eye colors are rare. The cat, observing the argument among the people, sees this as an opportunity to escape. She knows there's a dead-end wall behind her, but she believes she can jump over it, even though the walls are low. She attempts to flee, but her escape plan fails as she falls straight down from the wall. The people manage to capture her and confine her in a cage. After that, seeing the cat confined in the cage, 2 people converse with each other. One of them mentions that the cat is still upset and questions if this is normal. The other advises not to wait for her and to ignore her, regardless of her mood. The frustrated cat, trapped in the cage, desperately wants to convey that she is not just a stray cat, she's actually a human being. The cat remembers the last moments of her previous life where she was at peace, thinking about how wonderful it was to wake up without worries. Suddenly, she becomes energized, deciding that it's time for a challenge and to uncover all the potential within her. However, she falls back into her lazy habits, opting to read a fantasy novel on her laptop instead. She contemplates getting some snacks before starting. Suddenly, she feels something strange. Her eyes hurt, and she experiences sharp chest pains. She places a hand on her chest, but succumbs to her fate and passes away. The poor cat reflects on how unfortunate it is that her last memory of her home world was sudden and without warning. Her life was taken away without achieving anything significant to remember it by. Remembering her cat Maru, the girl reflects on how Maru is her only and eternal family. She's concerned about Maru's well-being even though her own life is over, and she hopes that someone will take care of Maru. When she wakes up, she sees the moon shining through the window in the middle of the night. She wonders how long she's been trapped in this world and hears the cries of cats all around. Those cries are overshadowed by the sound of Maru's crying, which echoes in her mind. She contemplates her current situation, trapped within the walls of a world she used to know, but now she has a fragile body and is a white-furred cat. She had been living on the streets for the previous week, which was exhausting. She thinks that perhaps being imprisoned is a safer option for her now. Excited and hopeful, the cat suddenly recalls the conversation among the people who had captured her. The cat, upon overhearing that the Sultan desires to own a cat, becomes excited and ambitious. She sees this as an opportunity to improve her life and dreams of becoming the Sultan's cat, with plans to live a life of luxury and make the Sultan her subordinate. She was determined to fulfill this dream. The following day, she woke up to an enticing aroma, and she pondered where the delicious smell originated. She wondered if there was well-cooked meat nearby. At that moment, she observed a person standing in front of her cage, holding a piece of meat, and commented that she seemed to have woken up. The cat's focus was entirely on the meat. She desired to consume it. The person asked if she wanted some of it, to which the cat desired an immediate response, expressing, "Yes, give me some right now. Come quickly, please. Quickly, please." However, the person playfully taunted her by saying that she couldn't have the meat as it belonged to him. Annoyed and increasingly frustrated, the cat thought, "You bastard." The person then challenged her, suggesting she try to take the meat if she wanted it. In her state of frustration, she inwardly reflected, "You make fun of me because I'm just a cat in your eyes." As the cat enjoys the enticing aroma of food, a person approaches and reprimands her, alerting her to Evelyn's presence. The cat's provocateur tries to play it cool, claiming he was just teasing her. He nonchalantly tosses the piece of meat aside and departs. The cat, eager to get a bite, expresses her excitement at the prospect of this delicious meat, believing it could be a lifeline for a poor cat like her. However, Evelyn arrives and places his foot on the coveted piece of meat, much to the cat's disappointment. She thinks in dismay, "No, my precious piece of meat." Evelyn, on the other hand, exclaims his frustration, commenting on the mess around them. The cat, feeling outraged, counters in her thoughts, "Garbage. Rather, that is my food, you bastard." Evelyn opens the cat's cage and begins to inspect her. He questions whether this cat matches the description provided earlier. The confused cat wonders what he is doing. Evelyn goes on to express his uncertainty, suggesting that this particular cat might be a legendary one. Annoyed by his comment, the cat retorts, demanding to know who he's referring to as a piece of shit. The person who captured the cat explains to Evelyn that it's the only cat they've found with different colored eyes. In response, Evelyn decides to take the cat with him. Overjoyed by this turn of events, the cat can't believe her luck, leaving her feeling amazed and grateful for being chosen. The people take the cat, covering her, and bring her somewhere. The cat, feeling a bit nervous, wonders what they want from her and worries about becoming a sacrifice. Suddenly, she hears a voice saying they've arrived. She steps out of the cage and sees a beautiful girl smiling at her, welcoming her warmly. The girl encourages her not to be afraid and invites her to come closer. The cat is astonished to find herself in a palace and is overwhelmed by the sight of a red diamond, known to be the most expensive gemstone. She can't believe this is real and is filled with awe. Filled with happiness, the cat runs around in the palace, excited by the beauty of her surroundings. She contemplates her situation and decides to prepare for any uncertainty, thinking about finding a way back to her original world. She notices a diamond embedded in the palace's column and attempts to jump to reach it, but falls short, feeling a bit young for the task. Undeterred, she continues her efforts, determined to get closer to the precious jewel. The maids see her jumping and find her cute, bringing a smile to her face. Just then, Aziz arrives and comments on her, intrigued by this interesting kitten who has the potential to become a promised cat. Aziz warmly greets the cat, expressing his excitement at finally meeting her. The cat, upon seeing Aziz, thinks to herself, "Cat of prophecy." Meanwhile, Evelyn stands beside Aziz and whispers in his ear, questioning if the cat is truly the one they've been waiting for, as she appears dirty and scruffy in his eyes. The cat recognizes Evelyn as the person from earlier. Aziz lifts the cat gently in his hands, affirming his belief that she is the incarnation of Ashtar, the enforcer of the goddess destined to defend their new sultan. With a joyful smile, Aziz introduces himself as the palace's priest and expresses his anticipation for her arrival, apologizing for the delayed introduction. As the cat reflects on the title, The Cat of Prophecy, Aziz insists that they discuss matters inside, implying a hidden significance to their conversation. The cat is startled by this and wonders if Aziz somehow knows that she's a human. Aziz proceeds to recount a legend from the kingdom about a devastating drought of unknown origins, which led to widespread suffering and an epidemic. In this dark time, the water goddess, protector of the kingdom, showed mercy and used her powers to bring water and salvation to the people. Despite their wishes for her to remain in Ince, she couldn't stay and left with a promise. She vowed that when Venus shines the brightest, the incarnation of a beautiful souled goddess would descend upon Ince. This incarnation would save the one who would become the greatest sultan. Aziz explains that the incarnation of the goddess appears in the form of a cat and expresses his intention to find this special cat. The cat, skeptical and deep in thought, questions the idea of a cat being the incarnation of the goddess, doubting if her soul matches the description. She reflects on her life, past and present, and considers herself far from having a beautiful soul. She dismisses the concept of being a main character in a story, emphasizing her focus on mere survival. Memories of the challenges she faced in her previous life overwhelm her, bringing her to tears. Aziz, seeing the cat in tears, realizes he may have touched on a sensitive topic. He acknowledges that despite his divine vision, understanding a cat's emotions can be challenging. He comforts the cat and asks if she trusts him even a little. The cat, recalling her past bond with Maru, reflects on how he warmly approached her. Aziz finds this touching and asks if she trusts him a bit more. The cat, feeling flustered, regrets her outburst in the current situation. She's embarrassed and hungry, unsure of how to respond. Aziz realizes he should have offered her food first and apologizes for not doing so earlier. The cat is pleasantly surprised to see the food Aziz has prepared for her. He encourages her to eat to her heart's content, apologizing for not offering it sooner. As the cat enjoys her meal, she contemplates her situation. Although she's still skeptical about prophecies, she realizes that they are treating her well because of it. She decides to stay and embrace the role of the cat of prophecy, rather than returning to a life of hunger and hardship on the streets. Aziz reveals a secret that only a few know. If the prophecy is true, the cat can transform back into a human, but only if she cooperates. This revelation shocks the cat, and she wishes Aziz had shared this information earlier. Aziz expresses his willingness to become human, accepting that he won't be able to return to his previous world. The cat gently presses on his hand, indicating her eagerness to learn more. Aziz assures her he'll explain everything after their meal, proposing an experimental transformation. The cat, contemplating the choice between a life of hardship and the possibility of being human, playfully appreciates Aziz's enthusiasm. Seeing her response as positive, Aziz suggests they get ready. The cat is taken aback and puzzled by the idea of getting ready. The maids help her bathe, a process that leaves her uncomfortable and frustrated. She realizes that becoming human might not be as straightforward as she thought. Annoyed, she begins to doubt Aziz's trustworthiness. After her bath, the maid remarks on the cat's transformed appearance. The cat reflects on how bathing turned out to be more challenging than she expected, feeling deceived by the sudden and unexplained process. She starts to doubt the possibility of becoming human. Aziz interrupts, explaining that it's time for a crucial step. He presents a pendant-like choker, asking the cat to wear it and emphasizing its significance. The cat, observing the bell and the choker, finds it curious. Aziz acknowledges her thoughts, admitting that the bell can be annoying but assures her it holds a special significance. As a servant arrives and Aziz inquires about the successful completion of their preparations, the cat listens. Aziz confirms that everything is ready and suggests that they should proceed. The cat, feeling impressed and curious, wonders about the plan. Aziz then announces that it's time for her to return to being human, leaving her genuinely impressed by his commitment to his promise. The cat goes with Aziz, filled with happiness, as she was pleased that Aziz had promised to turn her from a cat into a human. The cat thinks about how living in such a place wouldn't be enough, but becoming human, that's an opportunity she couldn't miss. Aziz hands her something, and the cat eagerly waits, ready to do whatever it takes. However, when she looks around, she can't help but feel uneasy about the gloomy surroundings. Aziz reassures her that there's no need to worry, explaining that the person there is just asleep due to sleeping pills. The cat, still anxious, realizes that waking up the person is her first task to become human. She panics, thinking, "I'm scared, I want to go back." Aziz then drops the bombshell. "Wake up the prince in front of you with a kiss." The cat can hardly believe it. The cat contemplates Aziz as if he were a magician performing a show. Aziz, with a theatrical tone, announces that he will demonstrate a magic trick to turn a cat into a human. He explains the steps, starting with getting the cat ready, emphasizing that it was originally a human being. The next step involves giving the cat tasty treats to let its guard down, followed by a thorough and pampering bath even if the cat despises it. Aziz proceeds to bring the cat to a specially prepared room, creating a sense of anticipation. Finally, he reveals that the magic spell will be completed with a kiss from the prince. The frustrated cat expresses its distress through loud meows, questioning what is going to happen to it. Aziz tries to calm the cat, mentioning that the prophecy cat was known for its agility, and asks if the cat can sense the curse energy in the room. The cat, now thinking more rationally, realizes that it's just a large, eerie room filled with a dark and unsettling atmosphere. It wonders about the nature of the curse that induces such feelings. Aziz explains that the room belongs to Solomon, the second prince who, despite his status, is considered the rightful heir to the throne. He further reveals that Solomon is afflicted by a mysterious curse, and Aziz had hoped that the reincarnation of Ashtal, believed to be the cat, could be the solution to save him. Aziz now believes that the cat might hold the key to curing Solomon. The cat, in deep thought, is startled by the proposition of kissing Solomon, especially considering it's currently in feline form. Aziz reassures that it's ultimately the cat's decision, explaining that if a person destined to be the Sultan comes into contact with the reincarnation of Ashtal, a transformation to human form is possible. He emphasizes that a kiss between them is the key to this transformation. The skeptical cat dismisses it as mere superstition, but Aziz proceeds to leave him alone as Solomon is already asleep due to sleeping pills. The cat tries to protest, but Aziz assures that he'll be outside ensuring their privacy before wishing the cat good luck in departing. The apprehensive cat is left with a sense of urgency, feeling uncertain about what's to come. The cat, quite conflicted and anxious about the situation, realizes that she needs to proceed with a kiss while the prince is still unconscious. She can't believe she has to kiss someone she's never met before, but the importance of becoming human pushes her to muster the courage. She contemplates the situation, acknowledging that in a world with magic, a kiss might be the only way to achieve her goal. She decides to test it somewhere else first. Afterward, with a sense of determination, she musters the courage to kiss the prince on the face, believing that this is her chance to become human. She understands that the only human in the room is the sleeping prince, and that if she hesitates, her opportunity may slip away. With her pride aside, she prepares to go through with the kiss. After kissing Solomon, the cat blushes and is overcome with embarrassment, feeling awkward about the whole situation in her feline body. She worries that if this transformation doesn't work, Aziz might abandon her. However, she soon experiences a rapid heartbeat, dizziness, and a sense of sickness. Recognizing that something unusual is happening, she desperately needs Aziz's assistance. She's left feeling anxious and in need of help. The cat had successfully transformed into Ishtar's reincarnation, now gazing at her new human form in the mirror. Simultaneously, Solomon woke up. Solomon was baffled by how he'd fallen asleep and couldn't recall when it happened. He was usually weary upon waking up but felt lighter than air that day. He assumed his face felt strange because a dog might have gotten to him while he slept. Fearing an intruder or assassin, Solomon observed the girl, who was the transformed cat, cautiously. He couldn't detect any signs of hostility but suspected the involvement of the high-ranking council members in sending her. Annoyed by their actions, he was determined to prevent this from recurring and decided to kick her out. Solomon, with a menacing tone, questions the girl who had entered his room alone and calls her brave for doing so. The girl, now in human form, struggles with what to do in this situation and can only make cat-like sounds. Frustrated, Solomon wonders if she is genuinely unaware of the situation and contemplates what to do with her if she is innocent. The girl feels like this is her chance to leave and attempts to speak, but she finds herself unable to produce any human language. Solomon informs her that even if she is innocent, she still entered the royal bedroom without permission and is responsible for her actions. He urges her to answer seriously. The distressed girl thinks to herself, expressing her inability to speak in her current form. She's uncertain how long she'll remain like this. Suddenly, she experiences pain again, much like before, leaving her exhausted. Seeing the girl's condition, Solomon becomes alarmed and calls out to her. He wonders if there's anyone else present and what might have happened to her. As smoke fills the room, Solomon, unable to see clearly, realizes the girl is gone. Confused and concerned, he questions who this woman is. Soldiers rush in reporting suspicious smoke and checking for any signs of fire or intruders. They call out to Solomon asking if he's okay and inquiring about the intruder's whereabouts. Meanwhile, the girl transforms back into a cat and hides. The cat, feeling frustrated, wonders if anyone saw her transformation and questions the urgency of becoming human so quickly. Just then, Aziz arrives and informs the cat that the soldiers didn't seem to notice. The cat, still upset, asks if Aziz knows what she went through because of him. Aziz comforts the cat by hugging her tightly and urges them to leave quickly before anything else happens. He then asks the cat if she managed to turn into a human as the legend foretold. The cat, though a bit miffed, acknowledges the transformation. Despite it being a brief and less than ideal encounter, she did indeed become human. She thinks to herself that she doesn't want to share this moment with Aziz. The cat shakes her head, indicating that it didn't work. Aziz expresses his surprise and notes that sometimes these things take time. He suggests that she rest for now as she seems tired. Aziz then uses his magic to put the cat to sleep. The cat, in her thoughts, realizes there are still many questions she has, but fatigue has taken its toll. Aziz expresses gratitude towards the cat for her efforts. The next morning, Aziz is taking the cat somewhere. The cat thinks about how there was some noise the previous day, but it's quieter than she expected. She realizes that it's not easy for a person of high status to walk around with a cat. Aziz reassures the cat, saying that it's just a simple meeting and she should feel comfortable. The cat imagines what Aziz might look like in a high-ranking position. She wonders if there's a reason for someone of such high status to pay attention to her. Then Aziz introduces the cat to a person he refers to as the highest and brightest being in the country, the Great Queen, Harem. Harem remarks that it's a little late. Aziz greets Queen Harem and introduces the cat as the Cat of Prophecy, mentioning that it was Mrs. Harem who wanted to meet her. Upon seeing Harem, the cat is surprised and didn't expect to meet her here. She never thought that someone so young would be a queen. Harem asks if the little cat is the reincarnation of Ishtar. Aziz describes how the cat matches the legend in appearance, being small, cute, and having bright eyes and fur like a white cotton pole. The cat thinks that the situation might not be as bad as she initially thought. Harem tells Aziz to discuss the rest of the matters soon, but she expresses concern about the man's reaction to finding a girl in there for him. Aziz chuckles in response. Harem playfully warns Aziz about laughing at the Sultan's words, saying that the punishment for it is death. Aziz replies that he's not afraid of that and adds that the cat understands everything, so they should speak calmly even when joking. Harem observes that the cat is indeed a very nice friend. Harem suggests if she could take the child instead of her son, but Aziz explains that she is someone given by heaven to her son, and it wouldn't be wise to send her to such a cruel man. The cat starts to remember the face of the son that they are talking about. Harem finds it eerie that the cat appeared just as they spoke about her. Suddenly, Solomon enters and asks what they were saying about him while he wasn't present. The cat is shocked, realizing that the son Harem mentioned is actually this man. Harem greets her son and offers him a cup of tea, expressing how difficult it is to see him due to his busy schedule. Solomon complains about the overwhelming tasks assigned to him by the Sultan. He notices the hidden mass of fur in the room, which is the cat, and the cat thinks to herself, "Please pretend you don't see me. I don't want to meet you." Harem comments that calling the cute creature a lump of fur is an exaggeration. The cat realizes that Solomon saw her in her human form, and this might mean there's no need to worry about what happened yesterday. Confidently, the cat stops hiding from Solomon. Solomon thinks about the cat, noting that she came out and was smiling suspiciously. He then addresses his mother, Harem, mentioning the commotion in the palace the previous night. Harem acknowledges this, stating that the chamberlain informed her. Solomon explains that a woman entered his bedroom and he assumed his mother was aware of it. Harem teases him, asking if this means he brought a woman with him. Solomon, annoyed, responds, "Mom." Harem apologizes, claiming she knows nothing about it. Solomon accepts this but points out that it's unusual for a priest to be invited for tea, suspecting there must be something he wants to discuss. Harem expresses her interest in the story and points towards the cat. She suggests that the cat, whom they previously referred to as a lump of fur, should be formally taken into Solomon's suite. Harem explains that every member of the royal family should have their own cat, and this particular one was hard to find, which makes it the promised cat. She believes it will be of great help to Solomon, but he expresses some skepticism, mentioning the legend of the promised cat. He wonders if it's right to focus on such things, but Aziz intervenes and reminds Solomon that the presence of the promised cat was always associated with the Sultan. If Solomon keeps this cat by his side, it would strengthen his claim to the caliphate, as no one would object to him assuming the role of the Sultan. Solomon expresses his frustration about proving his position with strength. However, Aziz points out that Solomon's body feels lighter than before. Solomon is surprised and asks how Aziz knew about it. Aziz explains that it was because the cat visited Solomon last night. The cat playfully wonders what she could have possibly done for Solomon besides being close to him. Aziz explains that cats have wondrous abilities and recommends a few things. He is confident that if the cat stays by Solomon's side, she will be of great help. Solomon agrees, saying that since Aziz suggested it, he has no objections, agrees to take the cat away from there. Frustrated, the cat reflects on its situation. It expected to be taken to a place where it would be cared for, but it feels neglected instead. It's upset that Aziz hasn't paid any attention to it since taking it in. The cat is anxious to return to its human form and is determined to do whatever it takes to make that happen. It's willing to get closer to Solomon and give it a try, hoping that this might lead to its transformation. The maid named Erin is excited to see the cat and starts playing with it. The cat is surprised by Arin's reaction and meows in response. Arin is happy and expresses disbelief that such a lively cat has been brought to a place that she finds depressing. The cat reminisces about the moments spent with her. Arin shares that her older brother is too busy to spend time with her, and she hasn't had the chance to meet people her age. She sees the cat as a friend and calls it a little kitten. The cat recalls a similar sentiment expressed by another maid when they first met. Despite Arin being younger, the cat has taken her as a younger sister and appreciates the care she receives from her. The cat is concerned about Arin's well-being due to their shared personalities. Arin brings a bell to the cat, offering it as a game meant just for her. The cat is initially surprised that a game is being provided for her, considering her adult mind in a cat's body. However, she happily engages with Arin in the game and enjoys it. Afterwards, she becomes tired and falls into a deep sleep. However, in the middle of the night, she wakes up from her slumber. She notices that Solomon has returned and senses a strange and intense energy around him. It feels even more overwhelming than before, almost as if it's affecting her own body. She's concerned about Solomon's pale complexion and is reminded of her own initial disorientation when she woke up in this world. The cat, realizing the prince's troubled history and his difficult circumstances, desperately tries to wake him up as she senses something ominous surrounding him. She doesn't want to let him die in such a way despite his questionable character. The cat takes action, trying to keep the negative energy away from Solomon, and something magical happens as if she used a form of magic. To her surprise, Solomon seems to calm down, and the cat wonders if she managed to suppress the curse that was afflicting him. She reflects on how being near her may have stabilized his condition. However, as she ponders her actions, she suddenly feels her own body deteriorating. The next morning, Solomon wakes up and is surprised to find that the pain in his chest has disappeared, just as Aziz had mentioned. He gently touches the sleeping cat nearby, remembering Aziz's words about how the cat might help ease his pain. Solomon expresses his gratitude to the cat, realizing that she has indeed helped him. He reflects on how he never expected to find someone who could provide him with such relief. He thanks the cat for her help. Meanwhile, the cat is in a dream where a fish approaches her with a request. The fish is willing to sacrifice its life to help the noble cat fulfill her journey, and the cat agrees to accept the fish's sacrifice. However, when she starts to eat the fish in her dream, she realizes it's rough and salty. In reality, the cat nibbles on Solomon's finger in her sleep. Solomon is puzzled by the cat's unusual behavior and asks her what's going on. The cat wakes up and is surprised to find Solomon in front of her, causing her to panic. Solomon reassures her, mentioning that she was sleeping in his arms and bit him during her sleep, which surprises the cat as she didn't remember doing that. Solomon tells the cat that no one else would behave this way except her. The cat wonders how he knows what she's thinking, and Solomon affectionately tells her that she's his only cat. The cat blushes and is bewildered by Solomon's changed behavior, wondering why he's acting differently today. Arin shows the cat some clothes, expressing her excitement. She mentions that she applied for them as soon as she received her payment. The cat hesitates, wondering if wearing the clothes will be comfortable. Arin reassures her, explaining that they are preparing for the inauguration ceremony of the Governor-General, where they need to look noble and beautiful. The cat reflects on how Arin sometimes talks to her as if she understands what she's saying. Then, Arin selects a dress and helps the cat put it on, complimenting her on how well it suits her and calling her a cute and noble cat. The cat ponders about the notion of nobility. Arin then suggests they go to a beautiful place together, encouraging the cat to step out of the room. Arin takes the cat to a beautiful place, revealing it as her secret hiding spot whenever she gets reprimanded. She expresses her desire to share it with the cat and asks her to wait while she goes to make a wreath. The cat is puzzled by Arin's request. Suddenly, the cat spots a bird in the bushes and thinks to herself about being careful and not acting rashly just because she's in a cat form. Simultaneously, she appeals to her human mind not to let instinct take over completely. The cat attempts to catch the bird, but before she can, the bird flies up onto a branch. The bird addresses the cat, asking if it's difficult for her to catch him. The cat, frustrated, thinks to herself about the bird's behavior. She then makes a determined effort to climb the tree and catch the bird, expressing her anger towards it. As the cat attempts to climb the tree, she slips and starts to fall. She thinks to herself that this situation feels oddly familiar. Just before she hits the ground, a boy catches her. The cat, surprised and relieved, thinks that she must be lucky today. The boy comments on how cute the cat is and admires her unique eyes. The cat, pleased with the attention, meows in agreement, thinking to herself that she does look very pretty. She also reflects on how there's another handsome man in the palace, unlike Solomon, who has a frightening and dangerous aura. This man exudes the presence of a prince riding a white horse. Despite herself, the cat feels drawn to his charm. The boy gently places the cat on the ground and notices the pendant around her neck, a gift from Aziz. He remarks that she must be a part of the Sultan's harem, wondering why she's alone here. He expresses concern for her safety, thinking it must be dangerous outside for a kitten like her. The cat reflects on her recent experiences, realizing that she has indeed been through a lot. Smiling, the boy asks if she understands him, musing that perhaps it's better for a kitten to be free. He admits he's feeling frustrated as well. The cat wonders about her next move, and as she looks around, she spots a flower nearby. She picks it up, and with the flower in her mouth, tries to cheer up the boy with a soft meow, conveying that she's pretty. The boy, alarmed, cautions her against eating poisonous plants, concerned for her well-being. The cat thinks to herself that she didn't intend to eat it, but rather wanted to show it to him to brighten his mood. The boy asks if the cat would like some flowers, to which the cat, in frustration, thinks no. The boy advises her not to eat real flowers, mentioning they can make her sick. He then places a floral decoration made of fabric on her, considering it a gift. He tells her it looks good on her and is pretty. The cat is overwhelmed, thinking this is the first time she's received flowers as a gift and from such a handsome man. Suddenly, Erin rushes in, frantically looking for the cat and instructing her to return. Erin then notices the boy, Prince Theron, and is taken aback, not realizing the person with the cat was the prince. Prince Theron reassures Erin, saying he thought it was just an escaped cat, and that he's glad to have had such a cute companion. He addresses the cat, expressing his hope to see her again. Erin says goodbye to Prince Theron, and the cat responds with a meow, as if she completely understands Erin's admiration for the prince. Erin elaborates on her feelings, expressing her attraction to Prince Theron. She admits that while Solomon is great, she was initially a bit scared of him. The cat reflects on how she also had some misconceptions about the prince, thinking he was quite cold. However, she quickly realizes the irony of her own thoughts. Suddenly, Erin notices the floral decoration on the cat and inquires if she received it from Theron. The cat joyfully responds with meow, indicating that she did indeed get it from him. Erin then hints at a hidden meaning behind the flower, alluding to the language of flowers, but doesn't elaborate. The curious cat meows in question. Erin reassures her, saying it's nothing, and the cat believes that Theron probably knew the flower's meaning, but chose not to reveal it. At night, the cat finds herself in Solomon's room again, feeling tired. She notices Solomon's gaze fixed on the fabric flower Theron had given her as a gift. The cat thinks to herself, wondering why he's looking at her like that, but decides to ignore it. Solomon approaches the cat, remarking that she must have been fed well as she looks healthier. The cat is taken aback and wonders if she ate too much. Solomon explains that Aziz advised him to stay close to the cat to weaken the curse's power. He lifts the cat into his arms. The cat realizes he was referring to that. Solomon then asks her to wait quietly while he finishes his work. The cat feels annoyed, thinking, this guy is just annoying. Solomon places the cat down and removes Theron's fabric flower from the cat. He expresses his annoyance, saying the decorations are in the way, and asks if it's uncomfortable. The frustrated cat thinks, idiot. It's a gift that a handsome man gave me. Solomon continues, stating that although it's a simple-looking decoration, the flower means nothing to him. He crushes the flower in his hands and claims that it smells bad. The cat wonders why he's acting this way and thinks that one flower can mean a lot to these people who believe in the legend and revere a cat like her. The cat feels upset pondering the situation. She reflects on how everyone treats her well just because she's considered the reincarnation of the goddess. Solomon in particular treats her kindly, possibly because she can help him lift the curse. She questions if she's more useful than she initially thought. The cat is troubled by how long this will continue and compares it to a prophecy or flower language, making her feel uneasy about the entire situation. After a while, Solomon picks up the cat and comments that she's eating too much for someone he considers useless, remarking on her appearance. The cat responds in frustration, asserting that it's just for fur and muscles. She tries to convey how soft and silky it is, but also hints at something else. Solomon teases her about where she's choosing to touch him, calling her a perverted cat. The cat thinks to herself, feeling frustrated by the situation.